Flying Sub UFO. My name is Bill. Welcome to the Night Terrors Weekend Show. And we're starting right now. My Banned on YouTube series on YouTube drops a new episode every Wednesday morning. Every one of these videos was banned by YouTube, so check it out on Wednesday. If you value what I do on the Night Terror streams and the Night Terrors videos, the best way to support the channel is to join as a member on YouTube. You will find the join button right next to the Night Terrors channel name in the description below. Thank you for supporting the show. Rhino Rex is here. Welcome to Eldergrown and Takahama Plateau. Welcome to Gotcha Man and Green Tea. Good to see you, Rhino Rex. Brooke Birch has arrived. Welcome, Brooke. Takahama Olsen 2 has arrived on YouTube. Welcome, TO2. I heard one news report from Gotcha Man. I hear from Elder I'm competing with other network activities tonight. Elder, thank you for the super chat. Eldergrown says, I am a super chat and I'm okay. It'll work this once, then go away. Welcome to Zerithian. Zerithian says, hi, Bill. Hi, folks. Yes, that's correct, Book. Thank you. Thank everyone for the hefty birthday wishes. And welcome to Symbol, who says, alien, clap, and raised hands. Welcome, triple symbols. Trip sim. Symbol trip. Rhino Rex has a suggestion. Thank you. Well, that sounds good, Rhino Rex. We'll grab that now. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Zerithian. And I see a link from my Elder. Thank you, T Plateau, for the jewels. Much appreciated, ma'am. Let's see what this link has to bring up for us. From Eldergrown. Oh, nice. Well, between Eldergrown and Green Tea and Rhino Rex, it looks like we're all set for suggestions, folks. I probably won't be soliciting. Thanks, guys. Great suggestions this evening. Let me copy that one from Elder. Well, I already have it there. That's cool. Elder considerately provides the URL. But regular suggestions are nice, too. Let's get started, shall we? By the way, Rhino Rex says, looked into it once sometime. The answers are kind of cool. I bet. Can't wait to find out. Thank you, Rhino. Yeah, I have a film of this, this flying sub UFO. It's flying over the sea, evidently, according to the Navy. It changes speed, and then it dives into the sea. It's freaking incredible. We're going to see it at least once this evening. Here at IFLscience.com is an article by Jack Dunhill entitled U.S. Navy Footage Shows Spherical UFO Flying Around Before Diving into the Sea. You guys remember the old flying sub on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea? And Mr. Dunhill begins. In a video captured by the U.S. Navy, an unidentified flying object is seen dancing across the screen. I don't know why they say dancing. It's kind of level flight. T Plateau says it looks like a Magritte painting. I love Magritte. Thank you, T Plateau. So it's not really dancing. It's flying at level, and the seas, they're like really choppy according to the Navy description. Oh no, frame rate not good. We're not having frame rate troubles, are we? I could lower it some more. I'm going to lower it, Elder, and let me know how it goes. Thank you, Elder. We're going to do a very quick... Whoops, I got to get it when it's right. There it is. We're going to do a very quick frame rate adjustment here. Settings. Stream. Output. We're going to go to 3750. And apply. Okay. Is anyone else having video problems? Please report in chat. Was a bit choppier earlier. It's a bit choppy every so often. Gotchman says it's fine for me. I tested it. I tested the stream. I thought I was all ready for 1080p, because that's what we are right now, or 1080p broadcast. I was hoping it was going to be perfect. So please, now that we've changed, I need quality reports to come in. Thanks, folks. So it's, as I said, it's flying fairly straight and at the same distance from the Navy vessel, apparently, because it doesn't appear to grow larger or smaller in the short 1-minute clip that they released to the public. Across the screen before crashing into the ocean, capturing the imagination of UFO hunters everywhere. There is currently little information about the object, except that the Pentagon has confirmed the footage is authentic, and the video has now been made available online by a UFO documentarian. Jeremy Corbell, that is. I think we have a, yeah, we're going to be notating this as well. Let me delete everything here so that we can keep notes. I'm going to make this format, let's say 24. We'll start with 24. That looks pretty good. Okay, here's going to be our flying sub notes, because this video is just amazing, and Gotchaman is getting good reception tonight. I adjusted the rabbit ears. He's getting 720p. It is good now, says Rhino Rex. Okay, good. I think we might have found the sweet spot. Thank you, T Plateau, for the report. Brooke Birch says, I sometimes put the TV on Gotchaman. I don't have cable. I sometimes put the TV on Gotchaman. Two slightly different meanings there. I don't have cable, but get local channels. Oh, that's what we do. The kid doesn't understand why we can't skip commercials. I think if you get a box, like a box that's, it can be under $50. You might have the ability to skip commercials for pre-recorded stuff. Put the TV on, Gotchaman, says T Plateau. Rhino Rex only watching YouTube and streaming most of the day. Brooke Birch has an antenna. She got on Amazon. Yeah, we are antenna as well. OTA, they call it, over the air. It's a better signal than cable. And there's none of this required. This video now convinces me 100% that UFOs exist. You are not going to believe this video. And the author continues. The U.S. Navy photographed and filmed spherical-shaped UFOs. They say plural here. Only one is in the footage we're going to see this evening. And advanced transmedium vehicles. In other words, those that go from the air into the sea, like the flying sub. Here is some of that footage, states filmmaker Jeremy Corbell on his website, where he has shared the clip and details of the object. And this guy that broke the news, this video here, that's the one we're going to see. It is public domain because it was funded by our tax dollars. According to Corbell, the video was captured 3 years ago. In 2019, we're going to say 6 years ago now, but has since been available to the made available to the public. It is thought to have originated from within the USS Omaha's Combat Information Center, while sailing off the coast of San Diego, although this is unconfirmed. Although the video is short, about exactly 1 minute, it appears the object is capable of traveling through both air and water, making it more advanced in transmedium travel than any known vehicles, military or otherwise. The object itself is incredibly small, and by small I think they mean 6 meters, approximately 18 feet in diameter. Radar imaging showing a solid ball measuring just, well, they say here 2 meters, 6 feet in diameter. However, it appears fast. We'll find that out when we go to Jeremy Corbell's website in a couple of seconds, where he gives the exact data from the Navy on this video. However, it appears fast, reaching speeds of up to 254 kilometers per hour or 158 miles per hour during its air flight. A search was performed using a submarine shortly after it was spotted, but nothing was found. The object was long gone. Currently, there is no known vehicle that can fly through the air for an extended period of time and then transition into the water and continue traveling. Throughout the 1900s, the concept of a flying submarine was explored, but significant challenges in air supply and fuel made the idea never quite take off. In 2008, the U.S. prepared to issue contracts for a flying submersible vehicle, but after Lockheed Martin canceled their plans for a submersible drone, it appears the contracts never materialized. And that's the end of that article. We go from this to, we might as well X out of that. Pardon me, an article at thehill.com entitled Changing America. No, is that right? No, that's an advertisement. That's an advertisement for The Hill. Entitled Leaked U.S. Navy Video Shows UFO Flying Off the California Coast. They say in California here. And suddenly diving underwater. Eldergrown says the frame rate has dropped again. It's like the video lags every 30 seconds ago, but audio stays clear. Dare I drop the frame rate even more? Can I do a, thanks guys for the quality reports. We're going to do a quick change here, if we are able to. Can we change rate of broadcast? I don't think so. Output cannot be changed. I'm thinking video, it says here. No, it can't be changed, but we can reduce that output even more. Let's go to 3250 kilobytes and see what happens. I'm scared, but we're going to give it a shot. 3250. Apply. Okay, I really need your quality reports now after this change. It is intermittent, says Eldergrown. Please let me know how we're doing after the most recent change in the bit rate. And this article, who was the author? Story at a glance, The Hill doesn't give authors. Yes, it does, and it's very, very small. Let's temporarily enlarge that. Written by Joseph Guzman. A recently leaked video captured by the U.S. Navy shows an unidentified flying object off the coast of San Diego, moving across the sky before suddenly disappearing into the water. The video, obtained by documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, was filmed in the Combat Information Center of the combat ship USS Omaha on July 15, 2019, 1 year before the coup. Welcome, Marissa Morte. Marissa Morte says, great. T. Olson 2 reporting okay here. It's no longer seeing drop frames at all. Sweet. Great. Walking Buffalo has arrived. Welcome, Mr. Buffalo. The Walking Buffalo is here. The U.S. Navy photographed and filmed spherical-shaped UFOs and advanced transmedium vehicles. Transmedium meaning they can make the transition from air to water. And I'm assuming vice versa, though it'd be a good luck catching that on film. Here is some of that footage. This is from the Jeremy Corbell website. We'll be reading that later, so we're going to skip that short description. The footage shows a spherical object flying and darting above the water for several minutes before descending into the ocean. We don't get to see the darting in this clip, only the flying. It splashed, military personnel say in the video. No wreckage, and you can see the splash on the video. It's very, very pixelated, but you can see it. We'll be seeing this video at least once. It's a public information piece of media paid for by U.S. tax dollars. No wreckage or evidence of the object was ever recovered from the water. That's in spite of the fact that they sent a submarine to look for it. And that's an expenditure right there. NBC News reports the Department of Defense confirmed the video was recorded by the Navy and is set to be reviewed by the Pentagon's UAP task force. The panel was established last year to improve the understanding into the nature and origins of UFOs, or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Last month, the Pentagon confirmed a separate leaked video showing a triangle-shaped UFO flying through the sky was real and taken by Navy personnel. Corbell shared the recent footage on social media days before a 60 Minutes report that included interviews with several former Navy pilots describing encounters with UFOs. Former Navy pilot David Fravor detailed the 2004 incident southwest of San Diego, in which he and 3 other pilots were sent to investigate multiple anomalous aerial vehicles that had been picked up on radar, descending 80,000 feet in less than 1 second. The pilots spotted an area of whitewater surrounded by calm sea. And we saw this little tic-tac-looking object, Fravor told 60 Minutes. And it's just kind of moving above the whitewater area, the whitewater supposedly indicating transmedium travel. Perhaps the tic-tac had just emerged from the whitewater. He said, I want to see how close I can get. And it's climbing still. And when it gets right in front of me, it just disappears, he said. Fravor said the UFO was about the size of his fighter jet and had no markings, no wings, and no exhaust plume. Seconds after disappearing, the UFO was picked up by a nearby U.S. ship 60 miles away. 60 miles away, seconds after disappearing. These things are real, and this video we're going to see tonight proves it and convinces me 100% that UFOs exist. The evidence is now undeniable with this very video, and you're going to see why tonight. The U.S. government is expected to release a report on UFO sightings to Congress in June, and they did that. This article is a couple years old. Rhino Rex with a good report. Thank you, Rhino Rex. As well as T Plateau. Marissa Morte says, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Kay Lorraine is here. Kay says, hello, everyone. I know in like 5 minutes I'm going to pass out, but I wanted to say hello real quick. Welcome, Ms. Lorraine. And we have one more article before going to that video. Not article really, but this is the guy who released the video that we're going to see. His name is Jeremy Corbell. He's a documentary filmmaker. Philip Blair says UFOs exist, but where do they keep the keys? Welcome, Philip. And this is Jeremy Corbell's webpage, evidently. His domain, evidently, extraordinarybeliefs.com. No, I think this is just, I'm not sure exactly. This, the connection of this page to Jeremy Corbell, but it gives his full name, Jeremy Kenyon Lockyer Corbell. Well, that's the title of the investigative film series, Extraordinary Beliefs. Anyway, all of Jeremy's information is here. And the summary begins, which is entitled, The U.S. Navy Filmed Spherical UFOs. Dated May 14, 2021, which is when the film was released. The U.S. Navy photographed and filmed spherical-shaped UFOs and advanced transmedium vehicles. Here is some of that footage. This footage was filmed in the CIC, the Combat Information Center of the USS Omaha, on July 15, 2019, in a warning area off of San Diego. Not sure what a warning area is. Maybe where we protect the borders of our coast? Let's ask ChatGPT. To the Navy, what is a warning area? A special use airspace designated by the FAA for military operations over international waters. So only us is supposed to be there. Only us. It's beyond 12 nautical miles from the coast of the U.S. Location of the ship. Ooh, we got to do a, as seen on the left-hand side of the FLIR display. Oh, that's a FLIR display. No kidding. So it's like a FLIR is heat detection. The thing must have been super hot, right? Well, you can also see the temperature of the waves as well. Maybe black is cold and white is hot in FLIR. Let's find out at ChatGPT before we go to find that location of the ship. I'm going to have to type this part in FLIR because Dragon's never going to be able to translate that. In FLIR, is black cold or hot? You can remember it with the mnemonic white hot. Black is cold. So this is a very cold, cold object. Oh yeah, let's get that location. I'm wondering if Google Earth will understand this notation. We'll find out. And where is she? There, but there she be. We're going to paste in those coordinates and enter. Perfect. Okay, let's back away. We can see we can see where it went to after it went underwater. Right about there. So it wasn't off the the shelf of land, and there's islands. Evidently, this is like land that rolls down to the seabed. Pardon me. Because evidently that's the seabed right there. Coffee time. Philip Blair says, warning, you are about to enter the territorial waters of the United States of America. Please authenticate. Good one, Philip. So it was right about there. There's San Diego. Wow. And that is more than 12 nautical miles off the coast. There's LA. Okay. Time of event. The submersion itself. 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time. 6 a.m. GMT indicated a day ahead on the display. Why, we do not know. Why it indicates a day ahead. Anyway, 11 p.m. So it was dark out. They could only see it by FLIR. They detected it by radar, and then they found it by FLIR. Details. There was a minimum of 14 targets that they were tracking. They were a minimum of 6 foot in diameter. Says here they were a solid mass. Kenga Kong is here. Kenga Kong says, Bill, I need your email address so I can write you and get your address. Here is that email address. I'm going to paste it right in there for you, Kenga. Let's see if YouTube will accept it. Yes, there it is, Kenga. Colin Lamberdarn is here. Welcome to the Crowman. Composer extraordinaire. Welcome, Colin. Zerithion says, I think the UAP task force is real, but I can't imagine they wait a year before reviewing footage to see if it's a threat. Someone must lay eyes on that footage before that. I agree with Zerithion. Good call, X. Varying speeds from 40 knots to 138 knots, or if you were driving a car in the U.S., between 46 miles an hour and 158 miles per hour. Flight lasting longer than an hour. I think they mean the longest flight was longer than an hour. The unknowns were self-illuminated. Oh my God. The unknowns were self-illuminated. Neither origin nor launch or landing points were able to be determined. Unknown vehicles picked up on more than 2 types of radar. Still images of the footage were included in an earlier intelligence briefing. It says that I have previously reported on. So this must be Jeremy's personal page. It might even be his domain. Jeremy continues, it is noted in intelligence reports that the spherical craft appeared to be Transmedium capable and were observed descending into the water without destruction. Yes, this video is amazing, which we're going to see in a very short bit. There's a grainy splash as it descends into these seas, which had crests of 6 feet high, the waves had. It is noted in intelligence reports that the spherical craft could not be found upon entry to the water, that a submarine was used to search and recovered nothing. Footage is unclassified and public domain, and craft remain officially unidentified. No kidding. Here's a transcription of what you're going to hear in a couple of seconds. I want to show this. No problem, T-Plateau. Good idea. One Sean Bond is here. But before we see it, let's just, here's what they're saying. It took off. It's booking it. Break. Omaha, Pickney, Kidd, Rafael, Peralta. Possibility to launch Hilo ASAP. Hilo helicopter? What's a Hilo to the Navy? Chat GPT to the rescue here. To the Navy. What is a Hilo? Helicopter. And one military dude orders another one. If it splashes, you get a bearing and range. Yes, sir. Keep going, bro, one guy says. It's windy as F out there, says another one. Got a lot of white water out there, 6-foot swells, says another. Whoa, it's getting close. We have 31 knots sustained wind topside, gusts of 40 knots. Whoa, splash, splash! Mark bearing and range. That's what you're going to hear right now. Marissa says it's a heavy transport helicopter, most likely. Thank you, Marissa. Okay, let's see that footage. Let me get my headphones on. This is public domain footage. Frame rate dropping. Anyone else experiencing problems? Is anyone else having problems dropping frames out there? Anyone else at all? I need a confirmation report for Eldergrown. Dachshund Mester is here. Welcome, Dachshund Mester. Marissa's reporting no problem. T-Plateau is good. Rhino Rex is good. Dachshund Mester said it's good now. Oh, it's good now, Dachshund Mester says. I didn't make any changes recently, huh? It was skipping when I first got in. Elder says, I'll be happy to find out the issue is on my end. Slight drops when I got here, now none. Okay. We're going to think good, but anyone else having problems, please report immediately and throw up fireworks so I make sure I can see it. Okay, we're going to see that video. Mr. Kilroy, welcome, sir. It was glitching on YouTube, says Mr. Kilroy. What about now, Mr. K? Are you okay now?
Took off, spoken it.
Break Omaha, Pickney, Kidd, Rafael Peralta passive ability to launch Hilo ASAP.
Splashing your bearing range. Sure. You got 2 winds, 30 knots.
Keep going, bro.
Let's go down. We're making 10, so we can probably bring that 35 relative. Sir.
Yeah, I'll bring it down.
We got a lot of white water out there, so 6-foot swells.
Whoa, it's getting close.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
What was splashed? Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
took off.
Did you see it? Did you see it splash? I saw the splash. Did you see that splash? Let's take a close look at that splash. That's a gosh darn UFO. UFOs are real. I am now 100% convinced. UFOs are real. Let's see that again.
Sir.
Yeah, that brings it.
We got a lot of white water out there, some 6-foot swells.
Whoa, it's getting close.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
Whoa, splashed. Splashed. Mark bearing
You
a
can
range.
see the splash. That is just incredible. I'm just going to pause this and reduce it. So they're following this object around, and there's more than there's like 14 of them. This is the one. This is the one that was released by the Navy that Jeremy Corbell published. I'd love to see all the footage, but I don't know if it's all been released. But I'd love to see all of it. I'd love to see all 14. Wonder if you could get that with a Freedom of Information Act request. In that it intentionally enters the water. Because it's being observed, but if there's 14 of them, they must know they're being observed all the time. That's intelligence, right? For an object to go from flying to into the water, that's some kind of intelligence. Is it actually a craft with beings on it? Or is it some kind of phenomenon leaking through from another dimension, from a higher dimensional plane, perhaps? Marissa reporting a problem with lag. You're choppy at this moment. Okay, we're going to reduce that again. Let's reduce that. Reducing the frame rate. Boy, this is going way low, guys. This frame rate's going way low. I'm going to have to go to back to 720p. I wish I could stream at 1080p, and maybe I can. This is an insane low rate of 3000 kbps. And we need a 00 here. Double check. Looks good. Okay, that. Okay, from this point on. Looks fine to me on YouTube. Okay, here on YouTube. Better now, says Marissa. Okay, so that solved Marissa's problem. Okay, any more frame rate problems, please report. Eldergone says, Eldergone says, use NightTerrors with Bill to make your messages easier to catch Bill's eye. Good advice. I'm going to copy that and speak in the third person here. And put it on both platforms. Colin says, Bill, they are intelligent. And they've been here since the Ice Age at least. So far beyond human understanding, in my experience. Welcome to the Believers Club, says Colin. I know. I was always kind of skeptical. Even with those videos of that we covered earlier, like the triangle-shaped craft that the airplanes, the Navy, not the Navy jets, I don't know if they're Navy jets or not, but that the U.S. Armed Forces aircraft captured. I thought maybe it's the the exhaust from another jet from far, far away or something like that. But now I'm 100%. I mean, no one's going to convert me back either. After seeing that video, this video here, let's put it on a loop. And first we need a green. There's a green. And it's looping now. Let's mute it. Is it muted? It's muted. Okay. Oh, I already put up that message. My apologies, YouTube. "14 of these objects. I'm assuming on the same date. I'm assuming on the same night. Zerthian says, the Go Fast video was cool, but not like this footage is. I know. It's about to splash. Gets lower and lower. And splash. You really can't see it at this. Oh, it gets bigger anyway. So we'll see it. We'll see it bigger anyway. It's on a loop now. Yellow Rose for Texas. Welcome, ma'am. Yellow Rose says, I was going to say it had a stutter. So are they observing or just playing? It's almost like it's a play for them. Maybe observing and playing. There's no non-interference directive. They let them see us, but they won't contact us. Maybe for extra dimensional. Yeah, you can see the splash there. Extra dimensional phenomena? Something from a parallel dimension leaking through to ours. But wow, just incredible. Okay, I wish I didn't have to move on, but we have a suggestion from Elder, which we must attend to. Mr. Kilroy asks, did the Navy use underwater drones to check the area? And do UFOs stop off at their store for a 12-pack? Mr. Kilroy, the Navy did send a submarine to that area to check for wreckage. None was found. I imagine from something that crashes from the air, there would still be floating wreckage, you know, like seat covers and stuff like that if it's an airplane. Zerthian suggests like an interdimensional shadow. Yeah, but a shadow that moves water aside. And this, the reason the Navy knows and determined that these objects were solid mass was because they splash when they enter the water. I guess a shadow could be solid mass, right? Yeah, a shadow can be solid mass. Very interesting. Thank you, Zerthian. I always argue. That's my first inclination, always to argue with anything anybody says. It's just slightly off of my worldview. Infinite Sky, welcome. Infinite Sky asks, have you ever heard of the crypto-terrestrial theory? The idea that the crypto-terrestrial theory being, I believe, the idea that these flying objects are native to the Earth, our Earth, and that they usually stay hidden. Not very many of them, are there, if they're crypto? Or maybe not very many show themselves. Why do they show themselves if they're not going to make contact? Are they even aware of us? Are they even aware of us? Have Navy jets chase them, but do they respond to the chase? Infinite Sky suggests subterranean realms. Marissa thinks it may be a display of dominance. Interesting. T. Plateau says they make contact in their own way. Probably use contacts in the CIA or other government agencies. Sorry to laugh at that. That could be. I mean, the CIA may know all about this stuff, but if it did, why would they release the films, though? They make contact in their own way, probably use contacts in the CIA or other government agencies. That's long been a theory. From the 50s, that's been a theory. Collins says a cloaking device can appear as a shadow or mask to human eyes. Now, this is on FLIR. This camera that they're filming this with is a FLIR camera. I don't remember what the letters stand for, but it basically means heat shows up as white and cold shows up as black. That is an extremely black object, so that's super cold. It's I guess about the temperature of the waves. It's hard to tell because the picture's so grainy. But it looks colder than the waves. So we can approximate its temperature. I'd like to get temperature data from that FLIR. Rhino says, if you are looking at an anthill, you might be interested in what they're doing, but not too concerned if they see you or not. Yeah, so they're not looking at the anthill. They're just, who knows? What would be the purpose of, if they're just here to, like, as tourists, what's the purpose of transitioning from the air to the water? And why such a narrow angle of entry? It's a big splash. Because once they enter the water, they got to be slowed down big time. I mean, if they have solid mass, they got to be slowed down, one would think. Refueling, says Gotcha Man, right? Good guess, G-Man. Marissa Morte says, many people see them, but so many discount them. Elder says there's a lot more water to hide in on Earth. Right, we're 70% water on this planet, right? T. Plateau says they contact people they know are one of them. Humans with their DNA. Collins says water keeps it private to them. Their bases are deep under the seabed. Infinite Sky wonders what their propulsion method is, right? If we had that, we might be able to visit, you know. We might have a flash of the faster FTL, faster than light travel. Well, that'd be amazing, huh? This video right here is, and it got like little to no publicity. This has been out for 4 years, this video. Jeremy Corbell publicized it in 2021. Yellow Rose says they are not allowed contact, but routinely break that law. Unless they're not interested in contact. They surely do break the non-interference directive, don't they? They let us see them, but maybe we're as ants to them. That must be it. We must be as ants to them. Ms. Morte says the real ones won't get traction. Yellow Rose disagrees. She says they are interested. They troll. Right. It would seem they troll. It would seem they do. Some do troll, right? That's right, isn't it? Or is it just that we find them where they are and can't explain why they, after we follow them, can't explain why they suddenly speed up and shoot up vertically? Bones is here. Welcome, Bones. Bones says they let us drop 2 nuclear weapons. Right? So I guess they really don't care. T. Plateau says I saw one of them at the gas station. Oh, the chat is evidently talking about shadow people. Okay, I'm going to stay away from that conversation for now. Infinite Sky says looking down at Earth from an airplane really puts things in perspective. Yellow Rose says they can hear from their position. You can't, but they can. Rhino Rex says the gray parts of the water may just be reflected heat. It is still technically light. Exactly. Those are the warmer parts of the water, and the darker parts are the colder parts of the water. Because all Fleur can see is temperature. Zerithian suggests allowing us to observe every so often is perhaps their way of making contact. I don't know. I dropped my notes. I'm kind of of the mind that right now that they don't even, unless there has been deliberate trolling. Let's ask ChatGPT. We'll come back to the video. Are there actual cases of UFOs documented trolling aircraft pilots? In the internet sense of trolling. Yes, there are multiple documented cases. Okay, I have to agree with you then. Yes, there are multiple documented cases where military or commercial aircraft pilots have reported UFOs engaging in behavior that, if described in modern internet terms, could be seen as trolling, provoking, teasing, or intentionally confusing human pilots with strange or mischievous actions. If that's how they have fun, then they must have very, very, I'm thinking very peaceful souls. While the term trolling isn't used in official reports, Some encounters describe behavior that fits the spirit of the term. Here are a few examples. The Nimitz encounter, the Tic Tac UFO. The object reportedly mimicked the aircraft's maneuvers, then darted away at incredible speed. The Princeton radar operator case. The USS Princeton. Radar operators tracked the Tic Tac objects descending in under a second. When jets were scrambled, the UFOs sometimes vanished or reappeared elsewhere. Probably the same one. I'm thinking perhaps the same one. Reappearing, vanishing and reappearing elsewhere. Why it's trolling. The UAPs seemed aware of human activity and played a cat-and-mouse game, eluding sensors and aircraft at will. So they were playing. They do play. They have a sense of play. That's good. Whew. T-Plateau says, we must be small fry to them. Rhino Rex says, I just feel they couldn't care less if we see them or not. If they do, that's much more concerning. That means a vastly superior civilization has plans for us. They'll play with us. Yeah, we must be like animals to them, right? You don't talk to animals. You don't talk to animals. You don't talk to animals. Unless they're pets. Maybe they know that if they did, that if they were attacked, by a missile or something, that they could get hurt. Or maybe they couldn't get hurt. Thank you, Zerithian. Yellow Rose says, actually, they have been digging up man's technology that was covered up in catastrophe until they got the ship with magnesium drives, like old IBM computers that took up the whole room. I guess I'm missing another chat conversation. My apologies. Marissa Morte says, if they probe me, I hope they're gentle. I am a delicate rose. With sarcasm in parentheses. I'm sure you are, Marissa. God bless you. Green Tea says, I had a phone call and had to step away. I think I missed some juicy stuff. (2015) USS Roosevelt UFO videos. Gimbal and go fast. Rhino Rex claims they do not probe gently. Pilots recorded objects rotating, hovering, and accelerating in ways that defied physics. In the gimbal video, the pilot can be heard saying, "Look at that thing, dude," with excitement and disbelief. Why it's trolling, the craft's apparent taunting rotation and complete disregard for known aerodynamics give it a mischievous, mocking quality. It did not flee. It showed off. Right. That's another thing that's good. It has pride. Maybe that's not so good. So it has a sense of humor. They have a sense of humor and they have pride. One good thing, who knows? The NARCAP, the NARCAP and Aviation Safety Reports, has numerous pilot reports where UFOs approach aircraft, maintain formation briefly, and then vanish. In several cases, pilots reported the UAP responded to their movements, making it feel interactive or playful, not just coincidental. So there is trolling. Brooke Birch says, I just think if they cared about us, they would have made contact. Now, whether they have or not is another question. Are they even aware that those metal objects are not beings in and of themselves? But they have pride. They will show off. So they expect their audience to also have pride. They expect their audience also to be teased. Growman says they can implant your pet with spying technology so as to watch you without the pet's knowledge. Think about that one. No doubt. Thank you, Marissa. You're too kind. Rhino Rex says the acceleration and turning capabilities these things show would put nearly unimaginable G-forces on any pilot, which raises the question, if there's not a biological pilot, why would it play? Maybe because the object itself is the entity. Maybe there is no pilot. Maybe they are entities themselves. Zerithian says they seem to care what we think about them, right? With the showing off part. You don't show off to an animal. Never. You never show off to an animal. Infinite Skies says that's basically the plot of the movie Nope. Good movie. I didn't understand it, but the guy's a genius that made it. An absolute genius. Summary. While no report uses the term trolling, many military and civilian pilot encounters with UFOs include mimicry, outmaneuvering. So they play with us as well. So sense of humor, sense of pride, sense of competition. I gotta write these down. Humor, or not humor, but having fun, having pride, being competitive. And you don't compete against something, well, you would compete against something that's not within your range if you're trolling them. So, but that shows that they're also competitive. So that's very human as well. Growman says they are not all evil. Some you would swear are angelic in nature. So far these have been. They haven't been devils. And they look on you as an older family member might do. Interesting point, Growman. Let's see, font. Let me increase this font. Okay, try 36. Where's that video? Rhino says, if they are advanced, there's a reason they advanced. They would have to know competition. Good point, right? If they're not another life form themselves. So they're, wow. It couldn't be robots. Robots wouldn't have feelings, right? Colin says they may have introduced man to fire to keep warm and for cooking. T. Plateau says the Fatima miracle was said to be a possible UFO visitation. And that manifestation was kind to children. Colin agrees. Personally, I don't know if I'd go that far, that the Fatima would be the same. Thank you, Andrew K., for the super chat. Andrew says, go Bill. Thank you, Andrew. One of my best friends in high school was named Andrew. Okay, maybe we should get on to the next. Or should we keep talking about this? I think this is fascinating. Anything else we can deduce? Jordan Peele was the director, right? A creator-director. Guy's a genius, Jordan Peele. Of the movie Nope. I didn't understand it. But it was an excellent movie, though. All his movies are top-notch. He also has, I believe, 2 seasons of Twilight Zone as well. Peele was at the helm of that, I believe. I think the reason they're not contacting us is because this is the only contact they do, maybe. Yeah, I don't think there's people inside operating these. I think these may be the beings themselves who know how to, but, or maybe not. Jeez. I'm surprised one hasn't been shot down. Or that we haven't found one crashed. They never make mistakes. They never make mistakes. Wow. That's more indicative of something computer-based, right? They never make mistakes. I got a beep beep from somewhere, not sure why. Somebody's trying to contact me. Because if they, or, sorry, Dragon. No, turn off, please. Because we've never dug one up, right? We've never seen one crash and found it. One would think. Now I'm questioning my beliefs about Area 51. They never crash. Rarely. Rarely if. Rarely or if. Rarely, if ever, crash. You would think there'd be more evidence of them crashing, you know? If they exhibit signs of life, they can die as well, right? It's good to know they still have these three. Reduce my font here a little bit. Eldergone said we had evidence of giants, but it's conveniently gone missing. Don't I know it? Quatermass in the Pit. What a good story. What a good story. Both the original BBC miniseries, they didn't call them miniseries then. I don't even know what they called them. Quatermass in the Pit, or 6 million years to Earth. That's what I'm saying, Elder. We haven't done that yet. That's exactly what I'm saying. That hasn't happened yet. Just like in Quatermass in the Pit, also known as 5 million years to Earth. First time chat from MX519. MX thinks there is 0 reasons to be afraid of them. No, I don't think so either. And there's not enough of them to worry about. If they came for resources, they wouldn't have had resources for spaceships to come here in the first place. Right? So there's not too many of them. There doesn't seem to be very many of them. There doesn't seem to be a lot of them. It's rare to see them. So there's no population problem with them. We're not worried about any, we don't have to worry about any population explosion. And as MX519 pointed out, MX519 says, I've been watching your videos for a while, but just never caught a stream because this is an odd time zone for me. I'm from Europe. Love your content, though. Thank you, MX. Much appreciated, sir. Big Al 1 is here. Welcome, Big Al. Big Al says they are ancient. There have been reports. I'm thinking now of that one from Germany where they filled the skies. Maybe at that point, they weren't afraid of running into aircraft, I bet. This is back in medieval Germany, I believe. Thank you, Elder. Elder, you are the man. So there's not a lot of them. Or they don't show themselves in great numbers. Which, maybe if we were, maybe if we were back in Germany in the Middle Ages, they might have been showing in much greater numbers. I wonder if the percentage of the reports of ancient UFOs matches the percentage of UFO reports today. Percentage of what, Bill? Percentage of people on the planet? Percentage of documentation in the media? Percent of documentation in the media. Back then it was if they were lucky, a newspaper. Today it includes newspapers and also goes so far as to include the internet. Collins says religious texts around the world mix some of these beings with angels. So that shows they've been here longer than history tells. Elder says that could never be. Too few records were kept in ancient times. Most sightings would have gone undocumented. Right. I always try to figure things out, though, you know? Just throwing it out there. There does seem to be a lot. Or they refrain from appearing. Yellow Rose says they were not undocumented. There are paintings they are in, as well as sculptures. T. Olson 2 says the only people that really kept records was usually the church, or probably the province government at the time. Right? Exactly, during the Dark Ages for sure, right? During the Dark Ages for sure. Either there's a lot of them, or there's a few of them, or I had this thought when, is it MX or MK? Where are you, buddy? You were just gifted that sub. Where is that? Oh, I know how to do it. Something that MX said. MX519 said. Rhino Rex says, actually, many of the ancients were very good record keepers. The Romans in particular. They were quite studious. The Dark Ages were mostly known as Dark Ages because of the practice of record keeping went away for a while. And all they did was copy, right? Copy older manuscripts in the monasteries, etc. I think the church was the only one keeping records at that time. And perhaps the fief owners. T. Plateau agrees. Verpine with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Verpine. Much appreciated, sir. Some reason Druids liked keeping records. For some reason, Druids didn't like keeping records. Well, there's something about the Druids that Caesar wrote about in Gallic Wars. But other than that, no, they didn't keep any as far as I know. Just blows my mind. UFOs are real. Zerithian, thank you for the jewels. Thank you, sir. Yellow Rose says Druids were evil as heck. Language. All right, my brain's winding down, so to keep the show going on, we should do suggestions. First suggestion is from Elder. It's at 20 minutes past the hour. And that is... I think that's the first one. The Felixstowe Fire Demon, England. A story written by Rob Morphy at cryptopia.us. And Mr. Morphy begins. On an autumn evening in 1965, a group of British youths were cruising the town when one of them had a terrifying encounter with a fiery fiend that would leave him scarred for life. Felixstowe is a port town nestled on the North Sea coast of Suffolk, England. Let's see how you pronounce this word. How do you pronounce the town name of... Please respond by giving rhyming words for each syllable and indicate stress. Felixstowe. Felixstowe. Huh. Felixstowe. Bee, ticks, and show. Felixstowe is a port town nestled on the North Sea coast of Suffolk, England. The bustling hub offers a plethora of fascinating sights, but none so strange as the one seen by a trio of friends who were joyriding through the town on their way toward Essex at approximately 10:30 p.m. on the evening of September 20th, 1965. The group consisted of the driver, 25-year-old Jeffrey Maskey, and his passengers, Mavis Fortis and Michael Johnson. In what must have been an effort to preserve gas, or perhaps indulge in an ill-advised mid-drive libation break, Maskey pulled over to the curb next to a hedgerow on the isolated tree-lined Walton Avenue. The youngsters were engaged in lively conversation when Johnson abruptly opened the car door and walked out into the murky night. Fortis and Maskey exchanged perplexed glances as their cohort vanished into the Stygian blackness, but simply assumed he must be answering nature's call. Just moments after Johnson disappeared behind the shrubbery skirting the woods, Maskey and Fortis heard what they described as a high-pitched humming sound. And that's when things started to get weird. Fortis grew anxious as the disconcerting sound began overwhelming them, and Maskey leaned out the window to try to ascertain the origin of the noise. It was then that he spied an oval-shaped orange object suspended in the sky, over 90 feet above his car. So this has to be another one of them. He estimated the UFO was about 6 foot wide, and both he and Fortis claimed it was glowing so brightly, Navy confirms self-illumination, that it bathed the surrounding countryside in its eerie orange glow. Without warning, the humming object shot away from the vehicle and vanished beyond the trees. The pair stared at each other in silent astonishment when it suddenly dawned upon them that Johnson was still in the woods and that he might no longer be alone. The apprehensive duo, both of whom were reticent to leave the car, boy, the vocabulary on this writer, I like it, and wander into the forest wherein the UFO and their friend were lurking, began shouting Johnson's name to no avail. Maskey threw his vehicle in reverse, and he and Fortis continued to follow in vain for their missing comrade. Did I read this already? Sorry about that. No, this is new. The apprehensive duo. Either that or I skipped something. Or does it repeat itself? It repeats itself. Maskey threw the vehicle in reverse is here. Maskey threw the vehicle in reverse here as well. So, not my fault, guys. Suddenly, Johnson emerged from the wooded area and staggered into the road with a dazed expression adorning his face. Maskey hoped he was just having a go at them, but as soon as Johnson collapsed in the middle of the street, he knew this was no laughing matter. Oh, we're choppy again on the frame rate. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go down then, right? Thanks, guys. Let's do that now, real quick. Okay, settings. I'll get to see at least the degradation of the frame rate throughout the show, what it does to the 1080p. We're saying 2750, folks. And apply. And okay. Further reports would be appreciated. Is that good? Is that good enough, or do I need to do it more? Because I can go down more. I can go down more. Ooh, better, says Crowman. It's a shame on a show like that we have tonight, we have to have such a bad picture. Fixed for now, says Elder. Thank you, Elder, for your continued support throughout the show. I appreciate it, sir. It's good here, reports Brooke Birch. Thank you, Brooke. Rockers to Rockers reports perfect. Rockers to Rockers, the only witness to my testing of this stream. And Rockers to Rockers, with God as my witness. Was it not perfect? When I tested on the stream, my settings that I started the show with tonight. Better, says Ryu 1972, and welcome, Ryu. It was perfect. Yes. There was no choppiness. It was smooth. We'll figure it out, but at least it's no longer the gargantuan S show that it was the previous 2 or 3 shows. At least I hope not. I'll be reviewing this tape. Although still frightened, Fortis and Maskey wasted time in exiting the vehicle and running to their friend's aid. They were freaking scared, man. They found Johnson laying motionless on the asphalt, totally unconscious. When they realized they could not wake their friend, they hefted the inert body and dragged him back to the car. Good for them. Fortis did her best to make Johnson comfortable as Maskey hopped behind the wheel and sped away from the forbidding forest and the strange orange light toward the nearby Felixstowe Hospital. So sometimes they do make contact. Or we're not able to, deal with it. We can't handle it. Once at the hospital, Johnson regained consciousness, but he was suffering from amnesia and could not recognize the friends who had rescued him, much to their dismay. The doctors on duty at the relatively small hospital diagnosed Johnson as having succumbed to serious shock. They also noted he had unusual burn marks on the back of his neck and a contusion above his right ear. So that on the skull above his right ear, right? A contusion and burn marks on the back of his neck. The doctors then decided it would be prudent to transfer Johnson to the hospital of Ipswich, which was far better equipped to deal with his injuries and psychological condition. Shell shock. The following day, Johnson recovered his senses, and when his friends came to visit them, he told them of his harrowing encounter with an ostensible alien entity in the woods next to Walton Avenue. Johnson claimed that when he abruptly got out of the car the night before, he was compelled to do so by an unknown force, which insisted he go into the wood. Johnson told his friends and doctors he was forced to walk into the dark forest, although he was unable to recall exactly how far, where he encountered what he described as a humanoid being with large sloping eyes that were glowing in the darkness. He also claimed that the odd creature was engulfed by orange flames. It was at that point that he blacked out. Engulfed in flames. Maybe their body temperature is way higher than ours. I mean, way. Maybe they grew up on a sun. Maybe they grew up on a star. Wow. It was at that point he blacked out. Johnson swore he had no memories of what transpired next, until he woke up the following morning in a hospital bed. It goes without saying that the fire who heard this young man's tale, It goes without saying that the doctors who heard this young man's bizarre tale were skeptical, to say the least. And the newspaper reporters from the Ipswich Evening Star, who published the strange account, were equally incredulous. Yellow Rose says maybe they came from hell. That would not be good. Nevertheless, Johnson's friends, who had bore witness to the fiery, egg-shaped UFO with their own eyes, believed their buddy and knew all too well that something strange and terrifying transpired around Walton Avenue that dark night. Whether or not this creature was a UFO pilot from out of this world, or a demonic entity hailing from the supernatural landscape that dwells beyond mythology, the burn scars on Johnson's neck serve as a testament to this truly bizarre event. And then why the contusion? Did he... above his ear, there was burning on the back of his neck. You'd think if he moved his head away from the burning, he'd be moving his head forward, and maybe he could have hit his head that way. But above his ear, when the burn's on the back of his neck, as he was walking, probably he stumbled, I'm thinking, and hit a tree or a tree branch or something. I think burn first, contusion second. T. Plateau appropriately points out maybe he hit his head when he fell on his side. Indeed. Thank you, T. Plateau. Rhino Rex believes possibly radiation burns. Eldergrown suggests the same thing about hitting his head when he fell on the road. Next up, and we have more from Elder, but next up at 35 minutes past the hour. Is an idea from Green Tea. And that is did Todd Standing get pictorial and video proof of Bigfoot? All right. Let's find out. Wild Man of the Woods, the debate surrounding Todd Standing's discovering Bigfoot. Let's look at the debate. This is at wildmanofthewoods.com. And I do not see a writer given for the article, The Debate Surrounding Todd Standing's Discovering Bigfoot. Resources show us. Oh, it's debunky. Here's a debunked title. Something criticism in the title. Yeah, this is all debunky. Forget this channel. Or this website. Thank you, Cerithian, for subscribing with Prime. Much appreciated. By the way, folks, you can subscribe. If you have Prime, you can subscribe to one YouTube channel. I'm sorry, to one Twitch channel for free. And that Twitch channel should be me. Please. Thank you, Zerithian. I got to put together a little commercial about how to do Prime commercial. Because lots of people are mystified by that kind of stuff, you know? Prime sub commercial. Even Reddit is debunky. Well, Reddit's always debunky. Article alleges Todd Standing made discovering Bigfoot. Todd Standing discovering Bigfoot. If you spot Bigfoot, should you shoot him? No. If it's a man, you're going to be in big trouble. Critical examination. General consensus. Gotcha Man says, use AI and make a crazy AD video where you get chased by Bigfoot. Good one, G-Man. Elderground informs us if you have a Prime sub available, a blue button should show up when you hover your mouse over the video on Twitch. Look for that blue button, Twitch folks. Elder, thank you. From skeptic to believer, that looks good. At squatchable.com, there's an article entitled Todd Standing's Bigfoot Journey from Skeptic to Believer and Bruise Event. Okay. It's by the staff at squatchable.com, but apparently she looks like this. And she begins. A recent video posted on YouTube by the channel Uncomfortable Podcast features an interview with Todd Standing, a well-known figure in the Bigfoot community. In the video, Standing discusses his experiences and research into the elusive creature, sharing his passion and excitement for the subject. Standing, who previously identified as a skeptic, shares how his perspective on the existence of Bigfoot has changed. He emphasizes the importance of accepting the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or unexpected it may be. Throughout the interview, Standing discusses his personal encounters with Bigfoot and the impact they've had on his life. He describes the creatures as highly intelligent, spiritual, highly specialized primates, unlike anything we've encountered before. One particularly interesting point Standing makes is the potential for Bigfoot to teach us new ways of interacting with the world. He suggests their telepathic abilities and connection to nature could have a profound impact on humanity. As a Bigfoot believer and researcher, I found this interview to be both informative and inspiring. Standing's enthusiasm for the subject is contagious, and his personal experiences provide a unique perspective on the elusive creature. If you're interested in learning more about Todd Standing and his research into Bigfoot, be sure to check out the full interview on the Uncomfortable Podcast YouTube channel. And as always, keep an open mind and stay squatchable. Okay, now the bad news. The standstill bill. Colin says, not debunking Bigfoot, but this footage is amazing and shows how bears can be confused with bears. Please watch. It's great. This is bears can walk, and they even ask for food. I will add, I do believe in Bigfoot. I can look for it, Colin. I can't do anything other than Creative Commons, though. We can look for it on YouTube. Let's do that. Okay, YouTube. And we're looking for, we'll turn on bears walking. Okay, now we got a filter for Creative Commons. From Walking to Zoo. Okay, we're good. Let's see what looks like walking upright, right? Okay, walking upright. Again, Creative Commons. Oh, look at that. Well, yeah. Let's do this one right here. This is by Tony Green 67, and Green has an E on the end of it. All one word, Tony Green 67. It's entitled Bear Walking on 2 Feet in the Midday Sun. Let me just read from the video itself. It is a Creative Commons video. Oh, it doesn't say the video. Okay. It's licensed under CC BY 3.0 at Creative Commons. And there is a link to Creative Commons in the description below. And I'll also be crediting this in the description below for this live show. So You'll be able to find the credit for this in the description. All right, let's check this out. Hoping they have sound. Yeah, Crowman, I can only use Creative Commons videos. I can't show any other besides Creative Commons. So anyone who's interested in seeing really good videos that Colin has found, there's 2 links, it looks like, in chat as of yet. Let's check out this bear. No audio. What is going on here? Where's the audio for this? I don't see any audio at all. How can that be? Settings. I don't see an audio. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's full audio, so if it's not there, it's not there. It is there. That's one alert bear. You can barely hear the audio. You'd think the reason he's doing that is because he wants to be alert. Or he's an escaped circus bear. Oh, Rhino Rex informs us sometimes they do that because their front paws are hurting. What are they just repeating it over and over? Is that what they're doing? No, this is different. It's going a different way. Amazing. They kind of sway back and forth. Their gait is kind of an odd gait, you know? Green Tea says, bears seem to have a very head-forward posture when they walk upright. Like humans, but more pronounced. Elder says, the bear's like, what you looking at, punk? Gotta ask yourself a question. I'd be scared S-less. I don't know if I would have stayed around to photograph a bear from that distance, man. Bears can unalive you. I have some of my own footage I could show. Foolishly going close to the bears. At Indian Lake, actually, which we covered in the last show. Here we go. Get it and drive. 4x4. Chevy, love GM, man. Love General Motors. Crowman says, at night in a forest, that could be Bigfoot at a distance. Gotcha Man has a comment here I missed. Let me see if I can grab that. Don't mind me, sir. I'm obviously not a... I'm obviously not a bear. Do you know where I could obtain honey? What was that thing that Colin mentioned? Rhino says, the way he holds his paws makes him look like he's trying to be polite. I was just gonna say. He's still walking as he goes away. Oh man. That's one brave Tony Green. Only has 247 views. Of course, it is a short. It was captured 1 year before the coup. And that's the end of that video. All right, next up from Eldergrown. At 52 past the hour is at bogleech.com is an article entitled Real Aliens, written by Jonathan Wojcik, with art by Eric Kauslik. And Jonathan begins. When most people think of the allegedly true alien encounters, they think of little gray men with big black eyeballs, beaming people out of their beds for strange medical experiments. In reality, the popularity of the Greys Before the popularity of the Greys, people around the world reported a fantastic variety of otherworldly visitors, exhibiting inexplicable and often disturbing behavior. It's likely that many of these incidents are either powerful delusions or flagrant lies. Strike that. But we're not here to pass judgment or debate the paranormal. The Medford Schmooze. A husband, wife, and daughter were driving... Let's leave that for the next reveal. Through the woods. Driving through the woods. I guess they're talking a road through the woods. When they spotted three mysterious shapes gliding over the ground. They were completely covered in white hair, aliens, with no other visible appendages or facial features, and oddly paralleled the family with two large beings and one smaller being. Aliens. People. They were vaguely reminiscent of the Shmoo, a then popular creature from Little Abner comics. Let's check it out. We got to see how, is it Andy Cap who drew? No, Andy Cap's another cartoon. Who drew Little Abner? And how did he interpret the Shmoo? Right. Let's see him in a strip, if we can. Here he is in some kind of advertisement. I want to see him in Little Abner. Poor resolution, but let's check it out. So Schmoo not only lays eggs, but they also gives milk. And your claims they make wonderful steaks? Yum. Of course. They go ahead and broil 'em. When you looks at a Schmoo as though you'd like to eat 'em, he dies of sheer happiness. He drapped dead. Dead. He drapped dead. He drapped dead. Al, oh, it's Al somebody. Al somebody. Al somebody. Aliens. Possibly a true alien story. Where do we go? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's try a page down. I need a libation. No, it's not a vodka. I'm off the drink mix. I guess it's not good for your health, but that's not why I'm off it. Even though it's sugar-free, that still messes with your teeth. It's still, your teeth interpret it as some kind of sugar. And I have like really soft teeth. Oh, thank you, Colin. Oh, looking forward to that, Crowman. Thank you. Thanks for the heads up. Put the page down. The old Saybrook blockheads. Real alien or not? From 1957. Retired teacher, Mrs. Miriam Starr, reported that a bright light awoke her around 2 to 3 in the morning. Peering out her bedroom window, she thought at first she was looking at a downed airplane until she realized the object was hovering above her clothesline. Through the craft's large square windows, she witnessed 2 strange entities pass by one another with their right arms in the air. That arm looks like a thumb. Looks like a hand puppet. Their right arms in the air. Their featureless appendages had no hands. Their heads were transparent cubes with bright red cores, and their rubbery bodies flared out like skirts. She could not see if they had any legs, but guessed that they were less than 4 feet tall. As she watched, the windows vanished without a trace. A sparking antenna arose from one end of the craft, and the entire hull began to glow for several minutes. Finally, the glow faded. The antenna retracted, and the object took a complicated path through the air before shooting straight up without sound. Wow. I'm thinking not a dream because of the report of without sound. In a dream, you would think that not that you would hear the sound, but that you would not even be paying attention to sound. You would have no opinion as to the sound in a dream. In my mind, that's how I think my mind would work. The Palos Verdes brains. Oh yeah, real alien or not. This one I think 66% yes. Let's make that 56%. T. Plateau informs us that their featureless heads had no faces. about the schmooze. Welcome, one Sean Bond and family. Thank you for the promo, Sean. John Hodges and Pete Rodriguez were walking to their car. This is in 1971. On a remote road at 2 in the morning. So I have 2 witnesses. Not a dream. Maybe a hoax, but not a dream. When they saw a mysterious white light shine through the trees, alien or not. When they entered their vehicle and turned on the headlights, they saw what resembled a pair of brains lying in the road. Wow. Okay, my meter is 60% right now. Frightened, they drove off and arrived home 2 hours later than the trip should have taken. Missing time. 75%. Years later, Hodges underwent hypnosis to learn more about his missing time, and recalled hearing a voice in his mind as the larger beam hovered towards the car, telling him that mankind would be instruments of their own fate. Maybe they only appeared as brains. If they can beam messages into his mind, I'm sure they can beam images as well. But maybe they were small. Maybe they were brain-like. But it would seem that... wow, weird. Maybe they were all brain and just a few appendages. There's eyeballs there. I wonder if they saw eyes. He later recalled being transported to a room where more conventional gray humanoids informed him that Earth had too much power and highlighted a map of places where man could destroy themselves. He was also told that the brain beings were merely translators. Okay, there's got to be more details to this story. The brain beings were merely translators. Oh, wow. That's their AI. Let's find this story and find out more details about the hypnotic events. Here at hatch.kookscience.com is an article from May 22nd of this year entitled Giant Space Brains of Palos Verde, 1971 Encounter. Not a very long article, and no credit given to the author. That's not what we need. Let's try statecryptids.blogspot.com. Ooh. Yeah, now that's creepy. That's a little creepy. Especially with the 2 claws at the end, like they're crabs or something. Ew. Intelligent crabs. God help us. Okay. It was 5 years later he decided to undergo hypnotherapy. Take time to understand yourselves. The time draws near when you shall need to. Are we going to make it through the singularity and survive as an intelligent race? You shall not remember this incident until we meet again. Regressing further into his lost memories, Hodges discovered that the brains had been waiting for him at his home after he dropped Rodriguez off. Somehow they transported him to a metal room full of computers, where he encountered 7-foot-tall, web-fingered, gray-skinned beings. These creatures explain that the brains were actually just organic translators to allow them to communicate with earthly life. They warned that humanity must learn to control its dangerous power or face obliteration. Verpine says, intelligent crab brains, egads. No doubt. Rhino Rex says, bug brain. Yeah, I want more details from the hypnotherapy. It's not given here. Come on, more details. Could ChatGPT tell us where that is? See aliens. According to, down here I have John Hodges and Pete Rodriguez see aliens, according to media accounts. Find me a URL where Hodges hypnotherapy sessions are covered in great detail. AI, what? Here's a comprehensive and detailed account of John Hodges' hypnotherapy sessions on It's Something Wiki. URL. Is that where it is? It's called Brains of Palos Verdes. Open in new. Where is that? Where's open in new tab? Save as print cast. Open in reading mode. Let's try that. Uh-oh. No, don't do that. Close reading mode, please. I guess we just got to go there. Link isn't verified. Open link. Good, it's a separate link. Where are those details? That is not great detail. Same things covered in the other two sources. More detail than that. It's tough to find a public full transcript of John Hodges' hypnotherapy sessions, but the most extensive coverage can be found in a specialized UFO casebook PDF. Okay, how to access it? Visit the Internet Archive's version of UFOs, the definitive casebook. Okay, we will. You may need to scroll to the section on Palos Verdes. Okay, so let's go to the archive. Let's just search for it real quick using this. Internet Archive. Shoot. Try again. Internet Archive. Not going to do it. Go. Search. Close. Where's the search? I just saw it. I just saw the search. Search. Metadata, radio, PDF, source PDFs, text contents. Oh, I'm still on Dragon. Not a good idea. Refresh. Text contents. Paste. Go. The definitive casebook. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? You'd think it'd be number 1. Sort by relevance. There it is. Views 0. We're going to change that tonight. Search. Where's the search? Search inside. Palos Verdes. Palos Verdes. Not sure the correct pronunciation there. No match is found. We'll bring our complaint to AI. A search of this PDF returns no matches found on Here's a much more detailed source. Oh, why you give me that the first time? It always does this too. AI will always do this. It won't give you the stuff that's what you're asking for until you keep asking and asking and asking. Elder, yes. Okay, frame rate again. Thank you, Elder. Look at me, says Elder. Thank you, Elder. So we have to change the frame rate here, people. I don't like it, but I got to do it. Let's do it. Output. We're going to go to 2,500 people. And apply. Elder, is that any better? Full article. How to access it. One version is available on a site like extraterrestrial.org. Likely as this. Copy that. And then let's go to that website. Extraterrestrial. Oh, it's in French. Isn't that special? And where is Palos Verdes? I'm going to copy that too. We're going to have everything ready. Which is still choppy. Okay, thank you, Elder. We're going to take one more brief moment here to bring the settings down a little bit more. Your report would be appreciated, Eldergrown. So let's go find that. First, the French website, which we'll paste over archive.org, the big waste of time. In this manner. And can we see it in English? It says translate. Yes, please. And where's the search? Is it up here? Menu. Menu. Why does it just have people's names and dates? Oh, those are cases. 1909, 1954, 1953. It's in chronological order, 1950. So it says, where's the search function here? To research. Palos Verdes, please. Go. Nothing found. That should have matched. What if we search for that PDF? What if we search for that PDF on the web? Nothing found again. Okay, search for PDF on the web. It will be here. Right? Where is it? Where is the PDF? Where is the search bar? There's the search bar. Insert PDF name. Scribd, is that for free? Issue, service and owners manuals, Isuzu manuals. Oh, open make a new tab. Scribd. Flying saucer review, search for Palos Verdes. Not pasting in yet. Try again. Good. Search. Only 44,000 results for Palos Verdes. Well, how about the guy's name? Do I have it here? Yes. Both their names. 1,000 results for both their names. Hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy. Dragon's not going to do it. Good search engine. 2 results. Good search engine. Looks like a same thing, and there are 2 copies. Looks like the same thing. Let's try 0 views on both of them. They're both 36 pages long. Yeah, they're the same thing. Let's do the one where the cover is pictured. Well, this is more well documented. Decisions. Elder, I agree with your advice. It's going to have to be 720p. Bye, TO2. Let's try the one with more details. I like that picture, though. Picture. It is. Okay, Palos Verdes, please. Zero results. How about the names? Where'd the names go? Oh, they're down here. 0 results. Fucking, I'm sorry for my language. It is not in the PDF you referenced. After searches on the location and the subject's names. Here's a detailed PDF that covers John Hodges' hypnotherapy sessions in depth. Here's the link. Thank you, finally. See? Asking. You eventually get what you need. I got to get the H in there. I got the H in there. Good. And again. Yes, save it to the show folder, please. It is there already. Show folder is here. PDF is here. See, PDF. It's titled Hodges, so this is the one. I don't have a PDF. I don't have a PDF reader. I haven't installed a PDF reader on this new system. Just once with this. Turn off the dragon. Okay. We're looking for that hypnotherapy. Here we go, slipping into a moderately deep trance. Found himself in the room. Can I do a plus on this? Yes, thank you. Now that brain I like. Noise from the ground. What? Rodriguez had never referred in conscious memory statements to the entity as brain-like. Yet under hypnosis, when asked what he thought the object in the road was, he paused and said, I think it just might be a brain. He uses the word just. So, a naked brain. Just a brain. He did not know what kind of brain, surely not human because of its large size. He said he did not think the brain was there to talk to him, but that it was more or less looking and listening. Under hypnosis. No, it's about the same. We will meet soon. Yeah, evidently. This is the most detailed account, and that is the sources were truthfully reported, pretty much all there is. It is 23 minutes past the hour, and we are on to our last suggestion from Rhino Rex. And that is why North Americans' teeth are curved on the inside. Let's ask AI. North Americans' teeth are curved on the inside? I guess. I mean, isn't everybody's curved? Yeah, from where? From all that, from all those radishes that we eat. With the dirt that clings to them, grinding our teeth down. And let's put a apostrophe in here. The teeth of North Americans. Why North Americans' teeth are curved on the inside. Chat says, it is not unique to North Americans. It's a common human anatomical trait, but several factors influence how it appears across different populations. What you're seeing, the dental arch. Human teeth are arranged in a curved arch. Why the curve exists. The shape of the mandible and maxilla naturally curves. Aligns teeth for efficient chewing and biting. Supports proper speech and articulation. Why some populations have different curves. Diet and chewing force. Genetics. Orthodontics. Misconception alert. North Americans are not alert in the curve of their teeth. It's just a natural arch. If you're noticing it more in certain people, it could be due to orthodontic treatment that accentuates that ideal curve. So more orthodontic treatment in North America? I'd say yeah. Without a doubt. And that's why. Don't forget, guys, coming up on Wednesday. Play me. Let's put this over here. No, don't do that. It can't be seen anywhere except right about here. Yeah, let's do it here. Coming up on Wednesday. And I'm looking for it. It's here somewhere. There it is. And I'm definitely compulsive obsessive here. Green is good. Don't miss Banned by YouTube. Coming Wednesday morning. May God bless and protect you all.